All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching me across the states in Nigeria. What we do today echoes in eternity, and every single action or decision we take today, either in our businesses or politics or economy, society will continue in history and will define who we are as a person and as a community. I think I need to welcome you all to another episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, your executive producer, your name it. I wear many caps. But before we go on this day initial this day initial segment today, let me use this medium to commiserate with the Jimoh's family, who has been thrown into mourning following the death of Bisola Kola Daisy, the first child of late Senator Abiola Ajimobi's daughter, and she reportedly passed away today at the early hours of the day. For her age was 42 after I guess a brief illness. People are saying cancer, so many things, but unfortunately, we've lost another bright young girl, who has been impacting the society at large, and her father has been a benefactor of all the good things that her father has done for Nigeria and to quite a number of human resources out there. But unfortunately, I just want to commiserate with the family. May they have the I don't know the word to use, but really I'm also devastated with this thing. I think it's important for us to go on this day in history. Let's say what today has for us. When I come back, I'll give my 2 cents on it. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Wow, there was a general that lived and ruled. That's one of the takeaway from on this day in history segment, because a general that ruled Nigeria when we remember our struggles in the past, and of course the freedom of speech that the citizens and journalists have today, that was not there yesterday. We must always use that freedom for the good cause of our society at large. I think that's the reason why this segment of on this day in history has been created, to remind us of some of the good that has happened in the past, the good and the bad, definitely. But it's time for us to get a quick message from my sponsors, those who have put me on this platform. When I return, we'll dive straight to the topic at hand. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. On today's edition of Real Talk with Kike, I will delve into the unfolding political storms surrounding Senator Natasha Akpabio, representing Kogi Central. In recent weeks, the senator has faced an aggressive recall process, sparking heated debates about democracy, political power struggles, and of course the integrity of Nigeria's electoral system. Allegations have surfaced, suggesting that this recall is not a true reflection of the people's will, but rather a politically orchestrated move involving key figures such as former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello and of course the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Is this an attack on rising political force, or is it just a legitimate democratic process? The question I'm putting out there for us all to ponder on. But adding fuel to the controversies, reports that claims that financial indictments, allegedly as high as $2 million have been exchanged to push for the recall, and the authenticity of voters' signatures collected for the process has also been questioned, with allegations of forgery and manipulation making rounds all across socials. So what role does the INEC play in ensuring due process is the question I'm asking. Can the electoral body guarantee transparency and fairness in this highly politicized situation? I'm bringing that to fall as well. But on the live show today, I'm joined via Zoom by one of us who is the former chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalism, NUJ, in Kogi State, to break down the key developments, to analyze these political undertones and provide real talk into what this recall truly represents. And I must say, many thanks, sir, for creating time to be here. Are you there? Can you hear me, sir? All right, unfortunately, we'll go on a quick break to reconnect with my guests. When I return, the conversation will continue. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with me. Comrade Jimoh, are you there now? Can you hear me?
Thank you so much. I'm here. Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Okay, fantastic. I will appreciate a strong internet connection so that we can have a successful interview edition today. But quickly, let me go straight to the topic at hand, because this matter that started as an altercation on the Senate House, which opened up the sexual harassment issue between Senator Natasha and the Senate President. Afterwards, it snowballed to the other Senate members also pulling the jugular of the judiciary after she had set the eyes of the international community to this matter. It is her, and will I say it is her against the Kogi State constituency which she represents. I would like you to give us maybe a picture of where the saga is snowballing to, because with all that is going right now, with the recall process against Senator Natasha Akpabio, truly a reflection of the people's will, or do you think it's just a politically motivated attack orchestrated by powerful figures like Yahya Bello, like they say, and God's will, Akpabio? What's your take on this quickly?
It will be a foolish man called Arikineda. The man Arikineda was reported to have come out during the Hamatan and made fire around his house and went back to sleep. By the time the fire engulfed the entire community, the man was asked, "Why did you set fire on the community?" He said, "The fire he set is here. That one that is burning there is not his own." What I'm saying in essence is that by the time you are starting a problem, you can never know where it will get to. That is why it's always advisable that when a matter is brewing, we try to nip it in the bud so that it doesn't escalate. What started like mere altercation on the floor of the Senate has gone this far because there was not proper management of the crisis as at the time it happened. Going back into the election that produced her, it wasn't a landslide victory for her at the poll. She contested, it was a very keen election between her and the APC candidate. I think the margin of lead between her and the APC candidate, Ohere, was not more than 2,000. That's to show that it was not a landslide victory for her at the poll. In anything at all, there's politics. If people are saying it is politics or whatever, a matter started somewhere in the Senate. She got suspended, and the people that she's representing, whether rightly or wrongly, felt that the action that took place in the Senate was not something that they would have loved to see their representative do at that level. And they came home. In any matter at all, somebody must naturally take a lead. For us, on the field as journalists, we only report what we see. What happened behind the scene is in the realm of rumor. Whether any powerful person also is behind it, we are yet to confirm that. But what we saw on the field was that some constituents came out leveraging on what happened in the Senate and said they wanted to do their constitutional right of recalling their representative, and that's what we have seen. But the issue is this: there were so many noise here and there that the thing was on. People were sponsored, money exchange hand, things that happened behind the scene. Like I said, you cannot come to say since we're not there when it happened, you can't confirm it. So until we got enough proof to confirm that money actually exchanged hands, that one will be a topic for another day. So what I think is happening now is that there's a serious disconnect between the leader and the led. Because when things like this happened, you expect that the person who is leading will give adequate information to his people about the whole issue. I don't think people are adequately informed. And again, politicians are always looking for each other's downfall, so to say, if you want to put it that way. Another one's poison, they say, is another person's meat in politics. So if other people who were not traditionally her supporter are now leveraging on what happened to do what they are doing, so that is left, whether it was rightly done or not, that is why the ball is now in the court of INEC to do justice. So that takes me to the issue of strengthening our institutions in Nigeria. If we have credible institutions, all this noise about whether things are forcibly done, whether people were called for empowerment and whether registers were forged, will not be there, because we know by the time INEC will do the needful on the petitions and the signatures submitted to them, they will come out to tell us whether things were rightly done or not. I think until then, we'll now look forward to see what INEC will be telling us, not speculating, because whatever you say now, it all depends on the divide you belong. Those who are supporters will come up with their story, and those who are against us also have their stories to tell. So in this case, we'll just report it the way it is and allow the people to be the judge. So that we don't see, so that we will not be seen as taking side on the whole matter. But the fact remains that the people are divided on this. There are people that are for recall, and there are people that are against recall. So whether those who are for recall and the greater number, or those against the greater number, then INEC will now have to do that and let us know as citizens of this country. Thank you.
All right, many thanks for that elaborate submission right there. Yes, I'm still concentrating on this $2 million saga, because let's concentrate on the evidence that exists to support or refute the claim that $2 million was exchanged to finance this recall process. Because who are the key players involved in this alleged financial scheme? Like they say, there's always an atom of truth in every rumor. So listening to you earlier, sir, I cannot help but to ask, with Kogi Central having about 461 1,096 registered voters, only 230 signatures are required to initiate, Senator Natasha Akpoti's Duaga's recall. And petitioners claim to have gathered over 250,000 signatures. Yet, INEC has not verified this, given that past recall attempts, including that of Dino Milai in 2018 that failed despite similar claims. How credible do you think this process is, if I must ask you? Is this truly a reflection of the people's will, or are we witnessing another politically motivated maneuver designed to set dangerous precedents in Nigeria's democracy? On these platforms, we always keep it real. So that's the reason why I'm asking you all this question, because how can INEC ensure that the recall process is not compromised by allegations of forgery as claimed by sources that suggest signatures of voters might be fake, or faked rather? Also, people say that INEC is in the pockets of the ruling party and can be influenced to their own favor. What do you have to say about all of this?
Okay, like I said in my remarks, that when we have credible institutions, when our institutions are strengthened, the fear of Nigerians will be reduced to the barest minimum. If INEC would come out to do the job that is given to it by the constitution, I think all these worries, all these anxieties will be laid to rest. The issue of money exchanging hands, I said that so. I must say, yes, that the rumor is out there. People saying, alleging that from Akpabio to the former governor, but who was there to now authenticate that this money actually is changed? The people who are even saying it were not there. So it's not some story that anybody can confirm that it actually happened. And it is a lot of unsubstantiated claims made by people. People who come to say this and that. When some of them are followed through, they turn out to be. So this is another political talk that one cannot readily verify to know whether it is true or not. And those who are making the claim should be the one to provide the evidence that such a thing actually happened. For us, we're always seeing what we can see. We're always saying what we see. We cannot go into the mind of people to go and start reading what we cannot see. So even doctors will have to open you up to see what is in your under your belly. So for us, we cannot really confirm anything because everything is in the rumor, is in the realm of rumor. So the fact remains that certain things, the process has started. Those who are for recall have that claim that they have gathered the required number of signatures. The people who are against them are alleging that those signatures were not true reflection of what was on ground, that it was fictitious, it was cooked. But that's why I said that INEC now will have to come up and be credible and be transparent for people to see whether the signatures are real or not. So it is when INEC comes up to do their work and do it diligently that Nigerians will be in a position to say who is correct and who is not correct. But at this level, it will amount to taking side to say those who said the thing is fictitious are right, or those who said it is real are right. So in this case, we will have to push the ball to the court of INEC to decide for Nigerians to see who is actually saying the truth in this matter. Thank you.
All right, many thanks for that insight again right there. But quickly, let me use this opportunity to open the phone lines. If you are just tuning in, this is Real Talk with Kike, and I've been having real talk around the unfolding saga surrounding Senator Natasha Akpoti's recall, and of course a controversy that has raised critical questions about democracy, political power struggles, and of course the integrity of Nigeria's electoral system, with allegations of forgery, financial indictments, political interference. This case is shaping up to be a major test for INEC and of course in the country Nigeria. And of course the rule of law, we are joined by Comrade Jimoh, the former NUJ chairman, Kogi State, to help us unpack most of these issues that I've just highlighted. And I must say that many thanks, sir, for lending your voice on issues that affect us all. But now we'll deeper into some unanswered questions as well, because with all that you've shared thus far, there are so many sides to this. But let me quickly open the phone lines. Remember, for those who are watching me, you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number that is showing on your screen right now, and is showing at the moment, and you can be part of this conversation, or you can be watching us also on our social media handle on Facebook, on Silverbird platform. We lost our page on Facebook, that's Real Talk with Kike, but Silverbird is actually airing us while we are live now. So, sir, with all that you've shared thus far, let me say to you, because many constituencies of Kogi Centrals have expressed support for Senator Natasha Akpabio and oppose a recall. I've seen all of this on socials in the last 48 hours or 24 hours. Why is there such a sharp divide between the public sentiment and the political power struggle behind this recall?
In any society at all, it's also very difficult for you to have everybody going the same way in a matter. Opinions are always divided on issues like this. So, since there's no head count done on either side, one will not be able to say the number that are saying that should be called is greater, and those who are saying that who are going to go are greater. So you cannot really say so. But the fact remains that the process that brought distinguished Senator Natasha to office, like I explained earlier, was not a landslide thing for her. The people were this divided. That is why the margin of vote between her and the person who came second in that election was less than 2,000 or so. That would tell you that it was a very keen contest. And in any situation like this, you should know that at the time you are going to for you to get in there, and their problem will be solved forever. But the moment you are in that office and some of their problems they think will be solved in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 months, are not solved, so you will begin to lose their support. Yes, this is the situation with our Nigerian democracy, with our democracy here. The people who don't support people to an office for even the gain of society, think of their personal something. So jokingly, I crack a joke with a friend who I know to be a very keen supporter of distinguished Senator Natasha Akpabio during the election. And I didn't see him come up to and I asked. He said, "Oh, the senator is doing very well. He has brought light, he has brought but she forgot about First Bank." And I now asked to know which one is First Bank, and the guy pointed at his stomach that First Bank was not taken care of. And this is just on the lighter note. So, like I said, the people are divided because there are those who believe that she was not doing the right thing, and there are those who believe that in terms of what she has been able to do so far in this less than 2 years going into office, she has done well, and the people are divided based on this on these issues. So what I think is that for me, the peace of the community, Ibria community, the Kogi Central, should be paramount. Whoever are the gladiators on the other side should look at the consequences of whatever action they are going to take as far as this matter is concerned, so that at least our peace can be sustained and maintained. So that's what I think it is matter. But that people are divided, there's no doubt about it. They are divided based on their own line of thought and what have you. So, but I think an appeal should be made for the leaders and stakeholders of the community to come together and see what they can do to ensure that the peace that we have been enjoying over the years is not truncated. That is my take on that, man.
Many thanks again for that submission right there. But quickly, let me ask you, sir, how much did Natasha Akpabio's 6-month suspension from the Senate contribute to the recall process? Because I understand that 6 months is as good as 1 year. Was a suspension justified from you? I would like to hear from you, because, or was it just a part of a larger political ploy, to weaken our influence? What's your take on this?
Well, I think for me, I believe that when you get into a place, you try to understudy the rules, the do's and the don'ts of that place. In most cases, we give opportunity to our enemies to be able to attack us if at all we have any. Based on what I saw played out on the floor of the Senate, I want to say that the fact of the matter should be stated the way it is. My take is that anybody in that hollow chamber
Unfortunately, the network is a bit erratic right now. Let's go on a quick break to reconnect with my guests. When I return, the conversation will continue. Stay with me, I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. And of course, I've been speaking with Comrade Jimoh with all that is happening at Kogi State, and of course with the recall of Natasha Akpabio. Sir, are you there? Can you hear me now? Is the network much better?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I'm here.
All right, sir. So earlier when you were speaking, I cannot help, just to bring to fore quickly, because I know that we are struggling with network connection. Has there been any formal investigation into the sexual harassment allegations against Senator Godswill Akpabio? Has the Senate issued any statement of investigation on this matter? How do these accusations, connect to the political power play in this saga? Because I cannot help but bring this to fore because of all that has been going on in the last 24 hours in the Senate, especially when it comes to ethics of the code of work. What's your take on this?
Okay, on the issue of sexual harassment allegation against the state president, I think that one came up as a result of the controversy over the seat allocation and what have you that followed it. The point here is that the petition has been submitted. It takes me back to having strong institutions in this country. If a petition is submitted before the Senate committee should also be seen, to look at the constitution, should be seen to doing what is right, so that people will have confidence in our institutions. The last I heard about it was the last committee sitting, and we saw what happened between the deputy majority leader of the Senate, Nwabwe, and our sister Obi Ezekwesili. I think that is very, very disgraceful to us as a people. We believe the Senate should maybe do better in things like that. When allegation is made, you cannot be so sure that what is coming from the person who is making the accusation is correct until an investigation has been conducted. So that is why in the court of law it is said that people accused are presumed innocent until proven guilty. So we cannot begin to cast stone and begin to hold Akpabio liable and say that maybe because don't like his face before you say he did what she has been accused of. Or we cannot accurately say that what our sister said was falsehood because it has not been investigated. So I think what needs to be done is that ample opportunity should be given to the person who is making the accusation to prove his case, and the person so accused to defend the matter, so that Nigerians will be in the position to know who is saying the correct thing or who is promoting outright falsehood. But as far as the matter is concerned now, no diligent effort has been made to really go into the matter because the last time the Senate had quarrel with those that came over the position of the petitioner who said that he didn't have what we call confidence in the committee and the Senate chairman, the Senate committee chairman, most especially because of the public statement he has made before that the petition was dead on arrival. So what I think the Senate should do is to, if those who believe that they don't have confidence in that committee, they could raise another committee. All of them in the Senate cannot be, they are all matured and credible people in their, who have succeeded in their various walks of life before coming to the Senate. So we have past governors and past, I think they will be credible enough, they will be, they should have that integrity to look at the matter. If another ad hoc committee will be raised to trash the matter once and for all. And then again, on the issue of suspension, yes, the woman must have gone against the Senate rule, just like I was trying to explain, that she should have known that it was the rule of the Senate for her to speak from the seat allocated to her. If she was not there, then she has contravened this land. If she was called to order and she refused, then for me, she has run for. But the suspension of 6 months, for me, is also something that is too draconian, that I believe the Senate should look at. Because I think this is the first time anybody is serving such a punishment. That's why those who are in her favor, who are supporting her, are looking at it that if this punishment is so oversees something, then it now means there's some other issues that must have led to that number of months or whatever that has been given as punishment. So I think these are the things I think the Senate and all the people that are connected there with it should look at, and also ensure that we get on track and begin to discuss issues that affect the common man on the streets of this country. Because for the past few weeks now, it has been either Natasha or whatever, and a lot of man hour is being wasted into discussing something that is not really putting anything on the table of Nigerians. We deserve better. We need something more cogent from our senators than what we are getting right now. So that's my take on that one.
Many times, I like the fact that you've kept it real thus far, and you two have acknowledged that there have been different, saga, for lack of a better word, right now that have unfolded since the issue of Natasha came to fall. But are there reports of threats or intimidation or violence against those opposing the recall? And the reason why I'm asking this was because before I came on air, I saw quite a number of reactions. How safe is it for Natasha Akpoti's supporters to speak out? Do you think that they are safe, to be able to speak out and stand for who they think?
Madam, it has been public knowledge that our supporters have at various places and times in the Central District stage protests in our support. And I didn't hear any report of any of our supporters being attacked or intimidated or whatever. So it's a very free something. While those who are arguing, who are pursuing the recall were doing their own, they are also doing their own. So nobody has been intimidated or forced not to speak. I've seen a large crowd of people coming out to her and what I mean. So for anybody saying that there's intimidation or whatever, saying it's far from the truth. It's not saying the truth at all. So people don't think anybody is intimidating anybody as far as this matter is concerned as of now.
All right, many thanks for being so real with me on that too. So this might be my last question to you quickly, and I cannot help but ask a figure like you, knowing that you also contribute to this quarter of journalism. The bigger picture, as far as I'm concerned, is 2027 election, or will I say elections and political power play, which I feel is underway. It is rumored that APC is trying to hijack all the states that can, that they can before the 2027 election. Is this recall an effort or a strategy move to weaken, opposition voices ahead of the 2027 elections? Because the reason why I'm asking you this is because let's look at the broader picture of this. What are the broader political implications of this power struggle that we are seeing?
Madam, I think it has come to a point that we just have to leave our politicians to what they think they like to do best. For example, an election will be conducted, somebody will win. The very day he's sworn in, they don't talk of good governance or whatever. They begin to look at the next election. So that is what So we rule out that all these that are happening are not connected to the issue of 2027 because they believe if they sleep on their whatever, by the time they now wake up in 2027, they will see that nothing will be there for them again. So all these things that are happening right away, I believe, are things that are geared towards what we will be seeing in 2027 elections, if God spare our life. But the point is that we shouldn't place issue of election above good governance. Because when you spend much time on the issue of election, you are finishing one, you are thinking of the next one, then where will you have the time to now work for the people? So everything is about election. So that is why it is very good that we work on our electoral system, our tenure issue, what have you, and look at what we can do to really save costs. Because the money that goes into this election and the trouble and what have you are too huge compared to whatever benefit we think we are getting from it. So truth must be said. Anything happening, even from the first day election is concluded, the politicians begin to think of the next election. So if you now say that all that are happening now are connected to what will be happening in 2027, I cannot dispute it. I think that is it. Thank you so much.
Many thanks again, sir, for all that you've shared thus far. But before I let you go, there's the last segment of the show that we call Trending Stories. These are stories that binds us as Africans, as Nigerians. And the first trending story that caught my attention, which I also love you to lend your voice on, because this is where, as a host, I have an opinion, is Tinubu's government that finally pays NYC members, that is the corpers, 77,000 naira allowance. And quickly, let me give my submissions before I come to you. It is important to acknowledge, the positive steps, taken by the government, while also recognizing the concerns of Nigerians. In this case, this commitment to finally disbursing the increased allowance for corps members is commendable. Is a commendable move by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The fact that the government is also working to ensure backlogs are paid, shows a recognition of its own responsibility and a willingness to fulfill its promises. But delays in implementations common in governance. We must keep it real, because especially when dealing with budgetary constraints, administrative processes, we know how it works in Africa or in Nigeria, to be precise. However, the transparency now, in communication from the minister and that's Ayodele Olawande, and the new NYSC DG about the payment timeline is reassuring. I saw all of that on socials. It shows that the government is not only listening, but also taking steps to address concerns. So moving forward, sir, the focus should be, if you ask me, on making sure that such policy implementation are smoother, ensuring that COP members, and other citizens do not, endure long waiting periods before approved benefits are disbursed. The next step should be exploring ways to further support youth development, such as, employment opportunities, improve working conditions, post NYSC. I remember my own NYSC posting, which happened two decades ago. Credit should be given where due, and in this case, the government's decision to pay what was promised, is a positive outcome. However, continuous efforts must be made to ensure that Nigerian youths are not just compensated, but also empowered for a sustainable future. Quickly, what's your take on this side in a minute or two before we go to the second trending?
Thank you so much. I think we should not just criticize and criticize. When something good is done, you praise and commend government for such things, so that at least they will be encouraged to do more. On the issue of payment of the 77,000 naira, is a commendable effort of government, and I think they need to be praised for doing so. Even at that, Madam, given the current reality of our economy, the 77,000 naira is also a far cry compared to what it was so many years past. I remember when I started work as a teacher, my initial salary was 300 naira, and that 300 naira, I'll still have some savings from it before the end of the month. So you can imagine if people are earning 500,000 naira today and it can't take them 2 weeks. So there are some of these our children and our ones that are there serving that they still call home for allowance, despite the fact that they are getting what they were getting before. So this 77,000 naira will go a long way to alleviate their suffering. And another area that, like you just said, is for government to look passionately, just going to be there for 1 year or thereabout, and when they leave, some go back home and years without having anything to do. I think the government will have also to do this area of government of job creation to available for them to do, so that they don't come back home and remain idle once again. So government has done well. They can do better because, like I said, the 77,000 naira given our current economy is still not enough for anybody to live a very good life. So I think for what they have done well, we're happy. We commend them. We want them to do more, and also look forward to the point to the time they will now even try to do more, increase the alawi and ensure that coppers are made comfortable, and when they get out of the service, they are provided for. Thank you so much.
So the second trendy story quickly is the Delta nursing school students that mock President Tinubu's wife during visit to Akpabio. I wish I can play that quickly, but I think we've run out of time. But let me quickly say this, because this story is a good reflection of the displeasure of some of the people against the president's administration, which is, transferred onto the first lady, if you ask me. As the event coordinator is chorusing, now our mama be this, the student nurses are rejecting in chorus that now your mama be this. So we simply just means that you can't, impose Tinubu or his wife on them or on us as a national, fatherly or motherly figure, if you ask me. That's my takeaway from it, because it's a simple reflection, of the fact that the people are not satisfied. More could be done. Conditions could be made better. For many Nigerians, the title Mother of the Nation is not just ceremonial. It carries weight. A true mother nurtures, protects, ensures that the well-being of our children are first. So, but in a time when citizens are struggling with high living costs, worsening insecurity, economic hardship, it is not surprising that people are pushing back against the symbolic title that do not align with their realities. Let's keep it real. Nursing students who are supposed to be the future of the healthcare system today are watching the same system collapse due to the lack of funding to poor working conditions. Brain drain. How can they celebrate when they know the harsh realities awaiting them after graduation? So Governor Sharif's praise of great transformation in the health sector stands in sharp contrast of the reality on ground, especially when you want to use this video as a reference. So if things were truly improving, why are healthcare professionals living Nigeria in droves? I ask in pain. Why do hospitals lack the basic amenities or equipment that should be bettering lives today? Why are citizens struggling to afford medical care? One funny thing about Nigerians is that, I can tell you that for free on this platform, is that these same people singing rejection of songs now, by the time President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's wife shares 5K per person at another event or at the same event, the theme of that song will change, sir. That is Nigeria for us. So we are quickly silenced by bribes, and our conscience has been easily bought over the years, and I feel that that's the reason why even this country is where it is and we are not moving forward. Come on, look at Ghana as a... Guys, let me hold my thought. I do not want to receive any call after this show. But again, sir, many thanks, sir, for lending your voice on issues that affect us all. It's been an interesting time with you, Kotta, our resourceful guest, Comrade Jimoh, with all that you've shared thus far. I wish you the very best as you continue to lend your voice on issues that affect us all as Africans, as Nigeria, to be precise. Thank you so much, sir. And I pray for God's wisdom as we continue to navigate the Nigerian terrain where we are at the moment. We all need that wisdom, to be honest. Thank you so much, sir. We wish you the very best. Till I come your way next week, remember to be kind to one another and put a smile on somebody's face. Bye now.